Aloha. This is my second art video, and I hope the video shows up a lot better than last time because my head was in the way and I had the camera moved, so we'll see. And if I keep looking over here, it's because I'm checking to see if the cameras are still on. So that's what I'm looking at, is the screen. I want to get started. I really don't know what I'm going to be painting for sure. I have multiple colors just to have, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to be painting. But I've been mixing colors a little bit, so I may stick with these three primary colors, but who knows. Let's start with this. I'm still playing around a lot with watercolor and how it works. So this certainly isn't an art painting tutorial. I'm really just learning. I started maybe a couple months ago. But I think it's good to see that, you know, you're gonna go through a lot of, I'm gonna trial and error and things like that, so you can see what works and what doesn't. This is going to be my background. You can just do a clean background, but I want to create, I'm going to try to attempt to create dimension. Sort of like background nature look. Start with this. This is cobalt blue and lemon yellow. I'm using both gouache and watercolors. Yeah, I like this look, so I'm going to make more of it because I tend to run out. That's why I have these other colors in case I run out of what I'm doing. I want to keep it light because the background's light, and my first strokes I want to keep it really simple, I think. Both gouache and watercolors are water-based, so it blends really well together, I find. And with each stroke, I learn so much. It's like it's fun. Create a second color here. Everything's just gonna get all mixed up. In a little bit, it's gonna be a big paint mess. I wasn't sure if I should mix before I video But then I'm like, you know what? You can watch all the good stuff if it mixes well, or all the mistakes that I make. Because with every single so-called, we use the word mistakes, I would rather call it like stepping stones. So much good has come out of it. It's like, yeah, you learn what to do and what you don't like to do. Because art, there's really nothing that's really wrong that you can do, but it's like your preference. Like, is it right for you? And so I like that. I want this right now in my mind. It could change, but I want it to have several colors. Okay, so I have the green. I want some of the orange. Some of this. Yeah. I like that. Cool. Okay. So then I'm going to add these greens with it because I'm going to run out of these colors, and I want varying colors of green, because what I notice in nature is there are so many shades of green. So you can't really go wrong. I mean, even within the same plant itself, and then the lighting, and then other plants around it, it's like so many shades of green. So I'm like, let's add a different type of green. Okay. And I love different looks that I'm enjoying, is some with lots of paint, some with very little paint, some with a lot of water. It's really fun. So add some of this. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of water. See the difference? So it blends with the water, and then it has that streak for lighting, because watercolor, you don't really want to layer so much, so you don't need to try to create light. It can shine through even here too, but that's another way of light. What I find, I'm still learning. Look at that. That's what's cool. Like, man. And then I'm going to there's leaves, that's gonna go everywhere. There we go. I want to add more just because the other day I was going for a walk with my dog, Nalu, and then I take Jay for another walk, and I look at plants a lot, and nature and birds. Like right now, I want to draw birds now, but I'm gonna stick with this. And the leaves, the way they grow, it's like, wow, some are just going everywhere. So today it's more like, more the better. Like, I love the minimalist look too, but I mean, right now everything's blooming, so it's definitely not minimal out there. Yeah. I always run out of yellow. Like, it's so funny. It was probably one of my least favorite colors to like wear and things like that with clothes and and now that I'm painting, I that's the first color I feel like I'm running out of. It's so bizarre. It's so strange. Like, I'm gonna have to put more yellow. Yeah. Because if somebody were to say, like, do you want this, blue, pink, gray, black, beige? Beige is kind of yellow, but I'm talking about that bright lemon yellow. That's the last shirt I would buy, the yellow, bright yellow. Now it's like that's all I want to put in my painting because it's so versatile. It creates brown and black and green. You know, not too long ago, a few months ago, a couple months ago, maybe less than 2 months ago, before I started painting, I hardly knew what blue and yellow made. I was like, oh my gosh, it makes a beautiful green and in different shades. Did not know that. I did not know the basics to art. I still don't know really. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm just kind of teaching myself. Not really even teaching, just playing around. Yeah, so I like that. I'm going to... Okay, I know what I want to do. It's going to be interesting. Okay. So let's create some flowers. So I make these little dots of white because it gets dirty so quickly with other paint. So this is something I just kind of made up. It may be like not what you're supposed to do. So I'm gonna create like semi-opaque flower. Oh yes, the light is shining through. God, I love that fun brush stroke. I'm gonna keep that going. Yeah, that's fun. I'm gonna leave that flower minimal like that. Sometimes it's fun to layer, but I'm just gonna keep it like that. Oh, that color is magenta. If I can remember, it's a long name. Quinacridone? Quinacridone permanent magenta. I think it's something like that. So now, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Because this color has some of that, it'll blend well, have some bright that's kind of not fully from this color, because that's nature. I mean, they don't all go, like, we gotta completely match. And look around, that's the reality. So I'm gonna create a different look, because sometimes you see that they're not all from the same plant or bush. And I'm going to keep this really solid. And then sometimes I go like, okay, which one's going to overlap the other one? I think I'm going to have this one stand out a little bit more. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to overlap it because it's very annoying, actually. Like, you want to keep what looks good, and then you don't want to cover it up. It's just like golf. It's like, I don't know if I should shape it around the tree, and you think you should take the easy route, but then you're like, you know what, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to hit a low draw under the branch over the water, and then short enough to not go in the bunker. Those kind of things. But if you don't try, then you'll never know, and then you never really learn how to shape shots. And then you make a lot of mistakes trying to do it. So there's times where I've tried to cover up something. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. That looks awful. But I think that one looks pretty good. Okay, let's create a sheer. I'm acting like I could really do it on the spot, but I'm not sure. I feel like Nalu is going to talk to me in a second. He's staring at me, and he looks like he's going to talk to me. I need some more yellow. Yellow. I'm going to put it here so it's a clean. I'm going to put a lot. Okay. So I want this to be vibrant again. I did a vibrant painting last week. I feel like everything's blooming, so everything's just like colorful. So I try not to clean off my brush too much because I kind of like that some of that color is in this. I just feel like visually it connects things in a painting. Okay. But then I didn't do it here, even though I did have a little bit of what's in there and there. So it does blend that way, but sometimes it's like it needs to pop in a different way, so I like that. All right, so it's gonna be a little more sheer and a little more pigment. I'm going to try. And I want it to bleed into the painting more so that it causes more of a marbling look. Ooh, yes. That's what I'm going for. Whoa. Sorry that I get excited about my own painting, but I don't even look at it like it's my own painting. I just look at it like it's such a cool experience. Like, I never took art class. I was busy doing other things, and I was playing sports and golf and tournaments and, writing. I was like in journalism and things like that. And I did everything but art. because another reason is I didn't think I'd be good at it. So don't ever label yourself because you just never know. Yeah, I'm gonna do this all the way. And now I'm like, gosh, I hope. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm dipping it in clean water. It's not clean anymore. I could dip it in there still. It'll still work. But I always have a separate clean water. And then that creates that marbly look. There's other ways to create blending with the water with watercolor. I feel like they do like what's called wet and wet, and then wet and dry, and then what I mean is like you can wet the paper and then you can do that. But I like sometimes the clean look, but I want it blended within that clean look. And water travels obviously and it has a life of its own. So I'm like, I want to do some things that I can control and then let the water do its thing and not get too out of hand. So that's why I do a separate thing. I mean, there's no rule book on art, I'm sure, or watercolor. They try to, I'm sure, with everything, create rules, but I don't know, like, I never heard that you could dip the whole thing, but the other day I just was like, I'm gonna dip it in the water, not spread water everywhere, and then see what happens. And so I like it. Go like this, and then cover all of them like that. Wow, that's cool. See how it's moving around? Doesn't it always happen that way? Like you try to do something like videoing and then there's loud noise. And you know what you do, you just keep going. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna put a little tiny piece here, like as if it's hiding underneath a little bit. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. You know what? Let's add. Yeah. There we go. Wow. So this is over that. This is over all of them. Let's add some that I mixed. A little bit of that. And have something come out of there. And so this is olive green, and I mixed all this to create, or the yellow, lemon yellow and cobalt to create this green. And then the other one is sap green. So I kind of have several greens. And I think that's really good. I mean, that's kind of how nature is. Yeah. I want to create a little more highlight there. And then I like so like 3 different kinds. The reason also why I'm so into these colors right now is when I moved to Hawaii a couple years ago, I'm like, you know, there's only a few things I'm really gonna miss from the mainland. One of them is that brisk, cool temperature, which I find now there's that here. So I'm like, okay. But the other one is fall leaves. Because right now, like, there's so many tropical plants and things like that. And I'm like, I'm going to miss fall leaves. But there are fall leaves here. um, Let me see. I'm going to create sort of like something different. Here we go. Because there's always something growing out of things that you can't really even define the shape. So there's no perfect definition of that shape in nature a lot of times. So you can't really go wrong. There was something I heard, be careful how you mix paint because, you can turn it into mud. But I love mud. Like, if I ever start painting Jeep stuff, I mean, we're always driving through mud and it's all over nature. So, it can be useful I mean, the other day I was trying to create mud. So it's not always a bad thing to think that that's actually screwing up because it's really not. And speaking of mud, even in the ocean, the fish, there are mud colored fish. So I was trying to paint a fish and my color mixture turned into mud and I'm like, I painted it anyway and I go, wait a minute, this looks like that kind of fish that we see. I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of all the fish yet or ever. But it's a color of mud. It's beautiful. I love the color of mud. So when you mix paint, create mud and be proud of it. And know what created mud so you can create it again. That's what I like. It's like, it's never a mistake, it's a stepping stone. If you create something, it's like, do you know how to do that again and recreate it? And so, I love how, like, while you're painting, the colors shift and change because of the water and how it dries. And so, like, this painting will look different an hour from now. And I always tell Adam, like, and he looks at it too, it looks better the next day. And so sometimes, like, give it time because it can easily look better the next day. I want to add a few more leaves and then I'm almost done. Hopefully the mic covers up the mowing. I drew a little fly bug, butterfly, moth creature. Because there's always something flying around, plants and flowers. There's bees. And this one I created a little flying creature. Just a few more leaves and then it feels complete. Let's do this. Just a few like gold type leaves. Why not? That's pretty. Let's do this. Just a few. Just another plant. Yes. Just reminds me of the walk. There's just so much going on, and I'm like, you know, again, there's a look that I like that's minimalistic, but nature, you can't do too much. It was so much the other day. I was like, wow, everything's just growing everywhere, and that inspires me. Yes. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this. Um, I'll call it Tropical Autumn Leaves. Peace.